guys, what's up? We're Basic Teen TV. You always laugh at me when I try and do these intros.
Well, you were like,
it's the most awkward part for me.
Okay, oh my God, here we go. Hey guys.
Okay, we're Basic Teen TV, weekly podcast talking about a 90s teen TV drama. We are deep into Dawson's Creek season 5.
Balls deep.
Today we're going to talk about episode 21. My name's Melissa.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Cindy.
Cindy's balls deep.
I'm balls deep in DC.
Episode 21 is called After Hours. Again,
This one kind
of makes sense.
Kinda?
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Because they're like studying all night.
No, they're studying all
pulling, like,
night.
an all-nighter.
And
Yeah,
then,
and then
the
there's-
after hours with
there's some other late night dramas that happen.
Yeah. But actually the first thing we're going to talk about for episode 21, there are 3 major storylines that we are going to point out. But so the first one we're going to start with is Jack. And he is scrambling to get prepared for his finals.
Yeah, because otherwise he's going to flunk out of school and ruin his whole life.
Right.
Right. So
And he's starting over now.
Yeah,
it's time to start over. He's
now.
gonna start paying that child support and win back the affection of the kids that aren't talking to him, and maybe repair a relationship with an ex,
And get off drugs.
and get off drugs. And lose 20 pounds. He's gonna do all that. No, he's gonna stop drinking and partying, and he's gonna pass his test, and then he's gonna comb his hair.
Okay. There was something going on with his hair in this episode.
I mean,
He looked disheveled.
His hair in this whole season, though, right?
Yeah,
Are you
he's-
saying like it was really bad this episode?
It seemed really bad this episode.
There's like a weird cowlick or something, and I think he's going for like a grungy.
I mean, it kind of
like,
looks like he just had bedhead the whole
sloppy.
episode.
Yeah, like he just needs to comb his hair.
Yeah.
Like I get what he's going for, but he's not.
He's like
he's not
almost
pulling it
going
off.
for the Charlie look, but his hair's not long enough for that. And
Yeah.
it's just like it's
He's
not working out.
He's not pulling it off.
No.
Also, Charlie's hair is not that great either. He's
I
got
agree.
like
Charlie's hair has gotten worse too. By the way, like his is just looks like it.
it's like a helmet.
It looks like a
It
hair
looks like he
piece.
stuck his finger
Yes.
in an electrical
It is
outlet.
a helmet. It's like he takes it off at the end of the day and just puts it away.
It's bad.
It's bad. Yes, it doesn't even look like it's actually attached to his head.
It's really puffy and round, and then it's all combed forward from the very back of his head.
Yeah.
So there's like all the hair emerges from a point at the very back of his head and just goes
I mean,
forward.
what ease even that? What ease?
What ease that haircut?
fucking
even that-
Christmas.
What is even that hairstyle though? Like, is that a popular? I know.
I think
I
it
know.
was.
Well, I know you mentioned the Sum 41 guy a while
Yeah.
back, but like, I never ever found that attractive ever.
I think I did back then.
I've always been from day one, from the womb, basically, clean cut, classic haircut. Like,
Cut your hair, you dirty hippie.
don't need to do anything crazy, quote unquote cool bro with your hair. Like,
I think the less hair gel, the better.
Right. And I don't
Yeah.
mind like a maybe long on top, but the thing that really bothers me is when men's hair like creeps down the back of their neck. Like if they've got long hair, fine, they've got long hair. I'm not into long hair, but like you've committed to long hair. But when you've got short man cut, but that it's moppy, but then you've got all this hair like creeping down your neck, it just looks like you need a haircut that you haven't gotten. And
This has nothing to do with Dawson's Creek or anything, but while we're talking about men and their grooming habits, I cannot stand when dudes, this might be what you're talking about, Victoria, but like they have that neck hair that's just growing out of their neck. It's not a part of their head hair. It's just like gross back neck hair, and they don't trim that or shave that.
right.
It's disgusting. It takes like 5 seconds. Take care of yourself. Put yourself
I mean,
together. Women spend so much time
Well-
making themselves look.
Well, they can't see that, so therefore it doesn't exist.
well,
Yeah.
no, when you go to the barber, you tell him to shave it.
Yeah, this was a
Like that's a part of like have it be a part of your haircut. Like, yo, my neck hair.
But
can
it's
you
like
take-
they
can you
stop
take
thinking
care of that?
unless they're at the barber. They don't even think about that weird back neck hair.
Well, this is a message to all the men out there. Okay,
shave your neck.
Shave
your
necks.
Yeah, in the front too.
All of it.
Your beard, if you've got a beard, it shouldn't go past this line where your
Adam's apple.
Yeah, your chin meets your neck. It shouldn't creep down your neck. Shave it. Shave your whole. If there's hair on your neck, shave it.
If you're looking like a werewolf, shave it.
And then this is different. What I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when the hair gets like long and like moppy in the back and starts to like curl down the back of the neck.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Men
it
are
should
disgusting.
It should be short. And then if you want to have some moppiness or some like grunge, whatever, that should be higher up top, but not at the neckline.
Yeah.
Like it just looks like you need a haircut.
Trim all your things.
Yeah.
Just like clean up.
Yeah. Agreed.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
Put in some effort. You know what I mean?
All right. So Jack's hair sucks.
Yeah. He is looking a little crazy.
Yeah. And I think Victoria already mentioned this, but he's just kind of scrambling around trying to get his shit together for his finals. And he's freaking out about calculus. And he's like, doesn't think that he's going to be able to pass his final. So he is really struggling. There's a lot of things that happen in between. So it makes it feel like he's done a few other things to try and figure it out on his own. But then he ends up back at the frat house. And I didn't realize this, but I guess he's effectively been kicked out. I think we established that in the last episode that he's been kicked out of the frat. So he goes back to the house and you see him walking up and he's very apprehensive. And of course, it's like a raging party at the house. Like they just party 24/7 there.
And they're like, have a drink.
Yeah, yeah. And he enters the house and he sees the first guy that he recognized or that he knows, whose name, and they credit him in the episode, his character name is Polar Bear. And he's like, hey, Polar Bear. And it's, kind of the token black guy in the frat. And he's like, and Polar Bear is like, yo, bro, like, you really can't be here. Here, have a margarita, but leave.
Yeah. Mixed messages.
A margarita.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He hands him a margarita. And Jack's like, I don't need a fucking drink right now. I need help. And he's like, I don't know how we're going to be able to help you, man. You really need to leave, bro. And then Blossom comes up and is like a real douchebag to Jack. And and Jack's just like, I just really need some help. I've got this calculus class and I really need to be able to pass the final or else I'm going to be fucked. And Blossom's like, I don't think there's nothing we can do for you, man. He's like, I know you've got old tests down in the basement, man. Just go get them. And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Sorry, bro. And like all the other brothers are like just putting their heads down, like, And Blossom's like, anyone know about some old tests? And all the brothers are like, I don't know what he's talking about. And then you see Eric, which is the guy that accused him of making a move on him,
right?
Which started this whole like ending of Jack ending his relationship with the fraternity. And you see him in the background just kind of watching all of this happen. And Blossom and Jack are getting into it. And Jack's like, we're human beings, bro. Like, you can just be a kind human being.
I love your telling of this whole...
Bro. God, we're all really aggressive and we're drinking margaritas.
Yeah, and I need fucking help, bro. And Polar
I
Bear's
need help with my calculus, bro. And he's like, just drink this margarita and get out, bro.
I don't do as good of a bro impression as you do, Cindy.
I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, okay, thank you. Jack's just like, man, fuck you guys. Fuck you, bros.
Bro. Fuck you, bro.
Fuck you, bros.
Fuck you, bros. And he just like leaves. And like I said, Eric has watched this whole thing happening and Jack's just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm screwed. But then he like this is random, but he goes to Joey and he's like, please tell me you're taking calculus. Like, can you help me? And Joey's just like,
she's like, fuck off, bro. I'm busy studying.
Yeah, this whole time Joey's been in the library trying to study and people keep like interrupting. And I'm like, dude, just like leave.
Yeah,
the
go
library. Just
study-
go home
Go
and be
study
alone.
somewhere else. So she's like sitting in the middle of the library, like in a lounge chair, trying to study, and like people keep trying to hang out with her. At one point, she looks up and there's a couple fully on like an armchair, like the girl's on the guy's lap, and they're like making out hardcore, and she's like 2 feet from them.
Yeah. The distance between me and Cindy on this couch, which is about 1.5, 2 feet, is how it was the distance between Joey and this couple that were hardcore making out in the fucking library.
It doesn't make any sense.
They wouldn't be doing that.
Go up to the stacks. That's where you make out.
Yeah.
That's where you hook
Yeah,
up.
like they walk into the library. Like, how did that even start? Because normally you'd be like sitting and talking or something, and then you would start kissing. But there's only 2 chairs, and Joey's in one of them, and the couple's in the other. So they literally like were like, let's sit down right here, right next to this woman who's studying, and just start going at it. Like,
yes, you could hear their make out noises.
and then she looks up. She's like, "Can you two get a room?" And they're like, "Oh." I watched that and I was like, fair.
Yes,
Yeah.
fair.
Get a room. Go away.
Why are you making out here in the library? This is what the dorms are for.
There's literally somebody studying like right there.
This
Like,
is a library. Everyone in here is trying to study.
it was bizarre.
It was the most
weird.
bizarre scene.
But also, she's like so annoyed at everyone who keeps entering the library to chat with her, and it's like, just I don't know, go somewhere and be alone.
Yeah, go
That is
and
true.
study.
If
like
she,
if this isn't good environment for you to study, then
Right.
go somewhere else.
exactly.
Or like find like a corner, a different corner, somewhere where people aren't making out.
Yeah.
Like hide somewhere where your friends can't find you. There's got to be some like rooms or cubbies or something somewhere in that library,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
a creepy basement. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically Joey's story this whole episode.
Yeah, she's just trying to study.
Yeah. So getting back to Jack, so I guess Joey couldn't help him. So he goes back to Grams's house, and Grams is like, we've been waiting for you. And Jack's like, what do you mean we? And he like turns around the corner, and Eric, that's his name, the ex-fraternity brother that accused him of making a pass at him, is like sitting at the kitchen table or the dining room table, and all of his books and papers are out. And Grams is like, he's here to help you. And so Jack sits down, and they're like going through everything, and he's like, oh my God, this old test is from like 1982, and it's the same professor. And then Jack is just like, why are you helping me? And he's like, and Eric responds with like, well, you helped me once, so I'm just repaying you.
So this guy accused Jack of hitting on him and then got him kicked out of the fraternity. Doesn't apologize for that, but implies that Jack helped him come to the realization that he is also gay, because that was the whole thing. Like, Eric had like kind of come on to Jack, and Jack was like, I just want to.
No, Eric didn't kind of. Eric did.
He like
Eric tried to
went in
kiss
for a
him.
kiss.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Jack was like, no thanks, I'm not interested in you, and like, you're my frat brother, and I just want to be frat bros with you and nothing else.
and play video games and stuff.
Yeah, and
bro.
so then he got kicked out. Never apologizes for that. I mean,
Never
I guess this
addresses
is
it.
his way of atoning for that. But also, like, Jack helped him realize that he's also gay. But like, at what expense? Like,
Right.
Jack's been spiraling since this incident.
He's been jumping off of roofs and
Yeah, and like
Pergolas.
drinking and like flunking out of school, and then Eric's just like, well, I'll help you out, but like isn't like
sorry that I kind of fucked up your school life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like your freshman year of college, I kind of derailed you because of my own insecurities about my sexuality. But yeah, you helped me out. So, all right, I guess he's trying to make up for it. He really should have acknowledged it, but whatever.
Yeah.
We don't know the outcome, but they spend all night like cramming or whatever.
Yeah. We got to take a small break because Murphy is
just-
being really cute
He's
with
just,
Cindy
like,
right now.
asleep on my lap.
Yes, he's just like going night time on Cindy's lap.
That's fine.
And it's fine.
Just don't
cute.
fart.
It's really cute.
It is really cute.
If you could see from this angle.
Oh, he's so warm.
Don't disturb him.
No, I would never.
He's night-night. This is where he's decided to go night-night time. Usually he's up on the bed. He's like, nope, Cindy's my pillow tonight.
Oh, Murphy. Look at him.
Don't get me in there. Oh, sorry. He'll.
All right.
We'll have more opportunities. Okay, so that's
I want to say one more thing about Jack.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So in the last scene, as the episode ends, it's the next day, like, I guess time for finals or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Grams has a little lunch bag that she gives Jack.
I know what you're going to bring up because I made note of it.
You did?
I did.
Okay. I hope we're talking about the same thing.
I think we're talking
so
about
Jack
the same
walks
thing.
out and then he turns around and he grabs, like, after he grabs the lunch bag from Grams,
Mm-hmm.
he's about to leave and he turns around and he goes to, he like gives her a kiss on the forehead, but I don't know if the actor that plays Jack has some sort of aversion to like kissing an old person. Because he kisses her on the forehead and they inserted audio that went, but his lips did not make
Contact?
They
Oh.
barely made contact, but he just like put his lips on her face like. Ugh.
They did look like pretty weak lips. Yeah.
It's like
But
he had a fear of old people.
we were thinking the same thing, but I was thinking that it was purely the kiss on the forehead, which that would have gotten you, because you've made comments about that in the past, like people kissing, like characters kissing each other on the forehead. You're like, what the fuck is that? No one does that.
I mean, he would never. Like.
And honestly, if
would
you're gonna kiss like a parental figure in your life, like if you're going to give them a kiss, you would give them, and especially an old
cheek,
exactly, like a
That makes
grandmother or grandpa, you're gonna kiss them on the cheek, not the fucking forehead.
I mean, when my mom and when I like go home for Christmas and we part ways, we'll do a hug and like a quick cheek
right
peck.
Yes,
I've never kissed my mom on the forehead.
No, I've never kissed any of my elders.
Should we all start kissing each other on the forehead when we part ways?
No.
No.
But I think
Hard
like
pass.
the actor, it's like he didn't want to do this.
It
he
looked really awkward.
He just like touched his lips on her forehead and they inserted this audio.
It's like he barely puckered.
Yeah.
It was awkward. I thought he was gonna, because he took the lunch and just smiled and walked away, and I was like, you're not gonna thank her and give her a hug? And then he walks back and I was like, oh, he's gonna give her a hug. That's what I thought was gonna happen, that he was gonna like hug her because she like helped him. And she
That
also
makes- that would make
even a
sense.
hug would have been
yeah,
more
like
acceptable.
thank you for like standing by me and believing in me and packing me a lunch. Give her a hug. But then he gives her like a weird kiss and then just like walks away and she's like,
Yeah, Grams loved it.
oh, I love it. Teenagers love me so much.
But even the way that he walked up to her, because he like walks back, but he like almost like gets side by side with her, and I was like, okay, he's gonna kiss her on the cheek. Like that is normal. That would be what you would expect. But no,
It would be semi-acceptable.
he did a dead-lipped kiss on the forehead with
yeah.
and then the Foley team came in and was like,
Yeah, it was awkward. It was awkward.
it was so awkward. Yeah, I agree. We were talking about the same thing, but I think
We noticed the same.
we noticed
thing.
the same thing, but we noticed specific things differently with that.
We had different takeaways.
A different take. Yeah, there you go. Exactly, different takeaways. Okay, so that's Jack, right?
Yeah, he leaves and we don't know the outcome.
Yeah, we don't.
TBD.
Yeah, TBD.
Hoping
with
for the
his-
best.
with
Fingers
his
crossed.
Finals.
He'll be fine.
Um,
I mean, he crammed with cheat sheets all night, so I think it's implied that he's gonna pull
He's
through.
gonna pull through. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get his shit together after this.
Yeah. So I think the next thing the next, I don't know, pairing or group or storyline that we're going to talk about is Dawson and the film Critic. So a scene opens up where it's Dawson and Joey in the library, and Joey is like really trying hard to study, and Dawson is watching a film on his laptop, and he's like laughing out loud, in the library, and it's annoying Joey, and it's annoying other people that are also in the library. And so Dawson decides that he's just going to go. There's a film that he has to see or that he wants to see. I don't know if it's for a class or whatever, but anyways, he's like, I'm just going to go and I'll go watch this
so
film.
annoying in the library, like with his
headphones
on, and he's like in the library.
Yeah, it's very like fake
Sorry,
laughter.
I really disturbed Murphy when I was doing my Dawson laugh impression. I'm sorry.
It's really fake laughter. Yeah. And Joey's just like, yeah, I think it would be best if you left. So he's going to the movie theater, and this woman approaches him or like says something to him, like, of all the gin joints in all the town, in all this town. How does that saying go?
I don't know.
You don't know the gin joints.
I know
line?
this. I know the saying, but I don't know how it goes.
Right? Yeah, something like that.
But he goes to the movies and he leaves and he runs into the film critic from a few episodes ago that he had kissed.
Right. Well, she kissed him because she thought that she saw her ex-boyfriend and she was trying to make him jealous. And turns out, it wasn't him.
Yeah, she was pulling some shit. Yeah, so
she's on another date.
Yeah, she was on a date and she was like, "Oh, I left because he put a car cover on his car when they got there, and something else he did. I forget what."
Yeah,
she was just,
he was sucking his almond.
Oh, his Jordan almond.
Jordan almonds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gross.
That is gross. If
But-
someone was doing that at the movies next to me.
Yeah, so she was on a first date, and the guy gave her the ick, so she bailed and ran into Dawson, and then she's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Let's go back to my place."
Why don't we
such a
watch some
slut.
movies at my place?
Netflix and chill. And he's like, "All right."
Yeah. So they end up at her place, her apartment, and they're deciding what movie to watch, and then they just start making out.
Yeah.
There is one curious thing that she said. Sorry, I have to look past Murphy to see my notes. She has all these movies, obviously, like DVDs and VHS.
Yeah.
And she said, some women collect shoes. I pretty much keep Amazon
Amazon
in
going.
business.
Yes, in business. Yes.
And then I got to thinking, I was like, when did Amazon?
So this episode came out in 2002, and I wrote down the exact same thing. I was like, when did Amazon? When was Amazon a thing?
Well, Amazon started as like books.
As books and books,
right?
But books, right?
But books, and then moved into like DVDs.
They were like trying to take over Blockbuster or Netflix, because
Netflix was
also back in the day. Netflix was like CDs, like DVDs
Yeah.
only as well, or VHS. Yeah. So, but I was like, damn, like
that's crazy.
that is crazy that Amazon has been around that long. Yeah. So they don't even actually watch a movie. They just like start making out, and then like cut to they're naked, post-coital snuggles.
Is this the second woman ever that Dawson's been with?
I think so.
Because he's only ever been with Jen.
He's only ever banged Jen. Now he's banged this woman.
I thought, he got a blowjob from
every single fucking time.
Well, he did, and then he crashed that boat.
Okay, but that wasn't
intercourse.
Yeah, it wasn't intercourse.
That counts.
That wasn't vaginal intercourse. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't officially lose his virginity until he banged Jen
Yes.
at the mountain cabin. Wait, that was Joey.
No.
Joey and
Joey
Pacey.
Joey and Pacey.
yeah.
Jen and Dawson was New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Can you
imagine?
me losing my virginity in New Hampshire?
Yeah, so I think this is his only ever second sexual partner.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he was pretty good.
And I was
she like kept him around all night. I was like, how long is he gonna stay?
I was quite surprised that Dawson was like so easily had sex with this woman.
Yeah, because he's been pining over Joey.
Well,
Like-
and also he's such a fucking idealistic.
Yeah, like he
asshat.
always wants something more out of
Right.
every
Out of
interaction.
everything. Right, exactly.
Yeah, so the fact that this woman was like, let's just go Netflix and chill. And he was like,
Okay.
all right.
And
yeah.
also let's just bang it out a little bit.
Yeah,
And
let's
Dawson was like, all right.
Yeah, let's just bang. We'll talk about movies. We'll bang some more. You take a shower.
We'll get
We'll
Chinese
bang
food.
some more. We get Chinese food.
Yeah, we'll order some food. We'll bang again, and then in the morning you're gonna leave.
Yeah.
And he's like, cool. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for Dawson.
It was so out of character for Dawson.
Yeah, he wasn't like, I love you and we're soulmates.
Yeah.
like this should mean more. This should mean more to us.
No, he was like cool about it the whole time.
Yes.
Even at the end, she like tries to give him some videotape or something, and he's like, oh, I'll let you know when I'm done with it. And she's like, it's a gift. Meaning,
get the fuck out of
yeah,
here.
like take it and
Bye.
Don't call me 5 minutes from now,
Yes,
please.
yeah.
like this wasn't a date. This was just a thing. And she picks up. They do have some moments, and they like connect a little bit. And he's, he mentions, or they have some kind of conversation about how like, the one or somebody who you feel special for. And he kind of alludes to Joey a little bit, and she picks up on that. Like she gets it. She knows what's going on. He knows what's going on. And then she's like, I'm not that person for you, but that person is out there. Maybe you already know them. I'm not that person. Like we're just, we had a fun time. And he was like, all right.
All right.
But I'd like to keep in touch. And she's like, all right, well, we'll see a movie again, quote unquote. So like, she's basically like, we can hook up again, but I'm not your girlfriend. So see you later. And he's like,
don't get it twisted.
yeah. And he was like, cool with it. He gets it. They both get it, which is like a little out of character for Dawson, because he always puts extra fucking meaning into every little fucking interaction.
Yeah.
But maybe this is the push, because I think we're moving down the road where Dawson and Joey get back together or re-explore that. I don't know. That seems where it's going.
It does seem
seems
like that's
where
where
it's
it's going,
going.
and I don't want to go there.
So he has this interlude with her, and she's, even though they like bang it out like 5 times in the middle of Chinese food, at the end he comes away being like, yeah, Joey more than ever.
I do want to talk about some specific moments in their whole bang sesh. Number one, the Chinese food. I was like, when he went to answer the door to take the delivery, to take the food from the delivery guy, and he has on is just a fucking blanket wrapped around his waist, and it's like up to his boobs. It's like
Oh man,
all the way
I
up
must have
to
gone to the bathroom.
it's
during
like
that
all the
too.
way up to his boobies.
Yeah,
to
he
his
couldn't-
man boobies. I'm like,
couldn't put on pants.
nope, yeah, or yes, exactly, or even even it would be acceptable if he like showed up, if he answered the door in his like boxer briefs and a t-shirt, like, but don't fucking wrap your
or even just like shorts and no shirt.
or that,
Yeah.
but like to
So wait,
have,
he had the blanket.
and it was like I said, like it looked like it was up to his man boobs.
Yeah, it was like a throw blanket.
It was a throw blanket. He
that he had
wrapped
like
it
wrapped around himself like a towel, but it's a blanket,
Yes.
so it's like a lot thicker than
It's
a towel.
thicker, yes.
No, but like
And
around
up-
his
up to his nips.
well, around his waist.
around his waist,
but
but
high.
yes,
High on his waist. So basically, like, they ordered food, and then it didn't occur to him, I should put on pants for when the food arrives. Instead, the food arrived, and he's still naked, and he just like wraps a blanket around him and like shuffles over to the door to answer it.
Yes, it was.
And then
it
the-
was so ridiculous.
The delivery
Like,
guy was
what?
probably like,
What the
ew.
fuck?
Yes.
Where are your pants?
Yes. Yes. That was one scene. All right. And then the other thing I want to talk about, so after the like 5th time that they banged, they finally made it to her bedroom, and Dawson is like, what would like compel a woman to like want to have sex with a practical stranger? And she's like, well, for the same reason a guy would, like, we just want to bang it out.
Yeah, like, what are you
sometimes.
talking about?
Yeah, like, I don't understand. Why is this a foreign concept to you? But then she makes a little caveat. She's like, but the difference between men and women is that women, like, we'll decide whether or not we want to have sleep with you based on your footwear. And Dawson says, so you decided to sleep with me because of my Skechers? And she's like, yeah, it means you're kind and you're okay and a kindred spirit. And Dawson's like, okay. And then she goes on to say, like, and Skechers are quality footwear.
This was an ad. Like, Skechers inserted this because I've never been like, look at that guy in Skechers. He's totally bangable based on his Skechers.
Skechers say everything about a man.
But I mean, but Skechers though, Skechers in 2002 were not cool. They were
were
like
not
the
cool.
cheap version of every other name brand. If you couldn't afford Nikes, you'd get Skechers. If you couldn't afford Reeboks, you got Skechers. If you couldn't afford Adidas, you got Skechers. Like Skechers
they were like $15.
were the cheap version athletic sneakers. Like they were not cool shoes in 2002.
Well,
I think Victoria's right. I think this was like
it was paid ad placement, and they were like, let's make Skechers we've got to get our name in there somehow as a legitimate brand. I think they started out as like skate shoes or something, and they're like, well, we're not going anywhere with that, so like let's make it so if you wear Skechers, you're bangable.
Yeah, I guess like
being Skechers will get you laid.
I guess being skate shoes was too niche. They needed to broaden their market.
Right. And they're like, oh, if you're a 19-year-old boy and you want to fuck a 30-year-old film critic, you should wear Skechers. Very specific. But hey, there's a market for that.
Yeah. And I think I said this before we started recording, but I guess Skechers was cool with, having their brand name drop during a
they paid for
post-coital sex scene.
They paid for that. That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And that's what they got.
Which, I mean, I guess for this time, 2002, Dawson's Creek was, one of the hottest, if not the hottest show on television. Millions of people were watching it every week, so it makes sense that Skechers was like, hey, we'll pay you. Drop our name, please.
Yeah, drop it, and drop it in a good way. Quality footwear, that's all we want you to say. The rest of it's up to you.
Yes.
And they were like, all right, we're going to do you a solid, Skechers.
Once you pointed this out to me that it was probably a paid, like an embedded paid ad, I was like, that makes total sense because for, granted, we don't, this film critic character, she's a one-off. Like we're probably never going to see her again. But for any character in the show to use the words quality footwear,
yeah,
like that was totally written by an ad guy somewhere.
It was weird.
It was weird. Yeah. So yeah, and so just like you said, at the end they part ways, and Dawson is like, I'll give you a call after I watch it, and she's like, it's a gift, bye. But they leave the door open a little bit. So maybe we'll see her again. Maybe we won't. I guess we'll find out.
Maybe Dawson and Joey will get back together and we could suffer through that for one more season.
Cindy's very excited for that.
I mean, even Pacey's like, dude, you gotta let that go. Just that ship has sailed.
That's what he said in the last episode. Like, bro, let it go.
But he does. So after he leaves there, he apparently hasn't gotten any sleep. Although there is a sexy shower scene. You see him showering.
No, that's Pacey. We haven't gotten to him yet.
Oh, I thought that was Dawson.
Pacey in the shower.
All right. So,
okay. I'll put it out there because I don't know if I'll be able to eliminate it. My New York City apartment radiators are coming on, so we'll probably hear some banging in the background.
It sounds like a popcorn maker.
Yeah.
So
any hiss, bang, bang, that's my radiator coming on.
So Dawson leaves the film critic's house and
he goes straight to the library.
He goes back to the library, and Joey's like falling asleep in her chair.
Yeah, she's been there all night, I guess.
Yeah, and then he like wakes her up and is like, I brought you a coffee. And he's like all glowing, and she's like, you're in a good mood. And then he's like, he doesn't tell her that he just like fucking spent all night
banging
a 30-year-old film critic. And then he says something like, oh, what do you think about my shoes? And
yeah, he's like, hey Joey, can I ask you a question? She's like, yeah. Do you like my shoes? I don't know if he says, do you like my shoes or do you like my Skechers? But basically, he asked her like, do you like
she's
my
like,
shoes?
the fuck are you talking about? Go away,
and
let me study.
But then the camera pans out, so you get a full scene of like Dawson, and he has his like, he's sitting in the chair, but he has his like foot up on the ottoman, so you can clearly see his Skechers in the scene or whatever, and they're the most hideous sneakers. They're black Skechers, and like again, 2002 Skechers were They were not fashionable, in my opinion. Like, I would not be caught dead in Skechers.
No, like I remember thinking
in 2002.
Skechers were whack.
Yeah, Skechers were whack back in the day, but they looked like dad sneakers. They were hideous. And Joey's like, yeah, your shoes are fine. Like, what do you?
He's like, what are we doing? What are we talking about?
Yeah, where is this coming from? So that's where that ends with Dawson. Dawson in the film Critic. He got to bang it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Good for
Once
him.
again,
good for him.
Another scenario where a teenage boy
Mm-hmm.
is hooking up with a much older woman,
Mm-hmm.
which gets us into
Mm-hmm.
The-
Good
the-
segue.
the juice.
the real meat
Mm-hmm.
of this episode.
Yes. Sexual harassment galore.
Where's HR? Where is it?
Where's the law?
Well, technically, it's not illegal.
Yeah, technically not
It's not
illegal.
Unethical and against corporate business practices.
Yeah.
It's not illegal if you're.
No, it's not illegal.
It's not illegal.
It's just against policy.
Right.
But it's not illegal.
He's 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like if you're a business owner and you sexually assault someone that works for you, that's not illegal.
Well,
That's
okay.
illegal, yes.
Yes.
But I don't know that this
I mean, he wants it.
I don't know that this is that.
I'm not trying to victim blame.
No, I don't even think you
But
are.
he
Let's
displayed-
let's get into it. So
Yeah.
we're talking about Pacey and his new boss, this woman named Alex. And she kissed him in the last episode. And while he appeared to reject her advances, you could definitely tell he wasn't mad at the kiss.
Yeah, he wasn't mad at it. So it starts he's with Jack at some point and he's telling Jack about this. Because Jack's like, what? Come again? What happened? And Jack isn't even that phased. He was like, oh, well, she's hot, right? She's hot. Like, you liked it. She's hot.
You like those triangle eyebrows, right?
And then he was like, well, why don't you judge for yourself? Because she like walks in. Where are they?
Yes.
Where are they?
Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that point up, because Pacey comes in like he's coming back from the convenience store with like groceries or something. And I'm like, where are we right now? I was like, I thought we were back from spring break. It kind of looked like the beach house.
I thought they were like at Graham's and like
No.
Alex-
Where was Pacey staying before this moment? Where has he been
he was
living?
like living in his car or something.
Right.
Probably
Yes.
some boat somewhere.
Right. So like they have never addressed where Pacey lives once the boat situation was over. So we don't learn it until halfway through, or maybe a third of the way through this episode, that where Pacey and Jack are is Chef Danny's apartment.
Right.
Like that's his place. But we've never seen this apartment before.
No.
This
Yeah,
is
I
a
was, like, totally confused.
This is a brand new setting, a brand new set.
Yeah, it's not the recycled set
Yeah.
of
It's not
It's
Doug's
not his
apartment.
yeah,
It's not Doug's apartment redecorated. No. Yeah, that very confusing when we saw Jack and Pacey in this setting, because Jack is there to try and study for calculus,
right.
and he's kind of like hiding away from Grams, because Grams is still hooking up with Mr. Smalls,
the black
the
guy.
black guy, the older black guy.
Good for Grams.
Good for Grams. Get it, Grams.
Get it.
Get it. And so, like, Victoria, like you were starting to say, Pacey is telling Jack about what happened with his new boss, and Jack is kind of egging him on, like, oh, she's hot, right? Like, you want it. I mean, I know you want it, right? And then she shows up.
Yeah, she just like walks in the door, like lets herself in, and then he's like, "Why don't you ask her yourself? Because she's right behind."
there. That whole scene was so confusing, from not understanding where we are to her just randomly showing up. Like,
Yeah, like if my boss just showed up at my house, like let herself in, and
Well, not your house, a place that
That
your,
he's
your old
essentially
boss's
squatting in.
house that you're staying at.
right, yeah.
yeah, it's weird. And then it's never addressed because he's living at. He says later, he's like, "Oh, this was Danny's place," and I'm like living here until the lease is up or whatever. So he's subletting, but he didn't know that Danny was gone until like
Right.
a couple of days ago. So where's he been living between the boat and then?
But then he also says 2 triangle eyebrows. He's like, you can totally live here because she's like staying in a
Staying in
long-term hotel or some
yeah.
shit. And he's like, you can totally like see this, like
Like
come
maybe
back
this
and check it out. Maybe you can stay here until you, or just stay here.
Right, like you can
This
you can
could be your-
take over
you
the
can take
lease.
over the
Yeah.
lease once Danny sets shop up wherever he's moving to. Yeah,
So has he been living with Danny this whole time?
maybe he's been living with Danny this whole
Maybe.
time.
And like while he was gone on spring break, Danny like left town, and so he came back and he's like, "Oh, I got the place to myself, but I'm probably not going to stay here for very long because I can't afford the
I
rent."
can't afford it. Yeah,
So he's like roommates with Danny.
I guess.
The writers just like made this decision and they were like, no one's going to question it. It's fine. We'll just have Pacey be at Danny's place. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because she walks in and she's like, "Oh, it looks like I'm paying you too much because it's a really nice apartment." And he's like, "This isn't my apartment. This is Danny's apartment. I'm just crashing here. But you can take over the lease if you need an apartment, and I'll just
I
go
mean,
back to living in my car."
maybe if we want to give the show some credit, maybe more time has passed between the last episode and this one. So like maybe Danny was like, "Hey Pacey, can you just stay in the apartment and watch over things while I look for a new spot? Because, you know, now that I'm no longer working at the restaurant, I'm just going to move out of Boston and like find some other place to live or something." I don't know. I'm trying to put some logic into and connect the dots here.
Wasn't there a reference in a previous episode, like him and Audrey were always trying to hook up, and they were always like hooking up in the car, like random places, and then she was like, "You need an apartment because I'm tired of like
Having sex with you in your car that you live in.
right." So like, do you guys remember this?
Yeah,
I think
that
I do,
sounds
yeah.
familiar. Yeah.
So where was he living? Maybe he was staying with Danny.
Maybe he
was.
Maybe he
Oh wait,
was.
wasn't he living in the restaurant
Oh,
for a while?
yeah.
Oh, he was
Oh my
crashing
God.
in the restaurant
Pacey is
for
such a loser. What the hell?
He's like a hobo.
Why doesn't he get? He's like,
hobo. I haven't heard that word in like 30 years. Hobo.
I mean, he's like kitchen manager, head chef at this restaurant.
He just got a promotion.
You think he could afford?
He could afford rent in
He-
Boston.
he-
Just get some roommates.
Yeah, like go
Yeah,
on
get some
Craigslist
roommates.
and find a room.
Live with some of the chefs that are at the restaurant.
If Amazon existed in 2002, Craigslist surely
no,
did.
100% Craigslist existed at this time.
It's Craigslist.
Craigslist. I used Craigslist
Get it
at
right.
this time. Yes, he can go on Craigslist and find a room or a
Yes.
roommate or something. He can find a situation to live
He
in.
doesn't have
that's
to
not,
live in the kitchen or the office next to the kitchen in the restaurant.
right.
It's craziness.
yeah, these writers just didn't connect the dots here. I mean, because
They didn't
like
try.
like we've mentioned before, like, you know, teenagers watching this show back in the day, they didn't give a fuck about that.
not thinking about it.
No, they were thinking about the drama between the characters.
Yeah.
But,
Like,
I
they
mean,
didn't care.
They weren't
it's-
picking apart the logistics like we
Yes.
are.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I know, but it's from a principal standpoint, if you're a writer on something, you
I mean,
should at least
yes.
have some like an idea in mind
Right, and you need
for
like
where your characters live.
yeah, and I mean, not that I know about anything about writing for a TV show, but like cohesiveness and consistency.
Like, doesn't it bother them that
Right.
they didn't have a plan
Yeah.
for where a 19-year-old lives?
Or like how, or even if it's just like 5 seconds where they are just connecting the dots from episode to episode.
Well, they're
Like
just
this is
establishing something. Just give us something.
right. Yes.
I don't understand why he doesn't live with Grams. The rest of them do.
I know.
They all live at Grams.
And that's so easy.
yeah, you could just
like-
no rent. Like, why doesn't he just show up at Grams? Like, Dawson did it, and he lives in the
Yeah.
attic.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like-
but that's also easy for the writers. They don't have to like think about too much. Just put Pacey with Grams.
Yeah,
like
just
the
put
rest
him
of them.
in Graham's wayward home for teenagers.
Grams is like, I'm just trying to get my fuck on right now.
Yeah, she's like out there with Mr. Smalls, and there's all these teenagers crawling
Yeah.
around everywhere like cockroaches.
She's like, I can't get away from them.
Oh my god.
Wayward home for teens.
For loser college kids.
Okay, all right. Let's get back on track. We went on a pretty long tangent.
All right,
on how Pacey ended up at Chef Danny's apartment.
Alex with her pointy eyebrows just shows up.
Yes. And why does she show up? Oh, she comes to apologize for her behavior.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, I shouldn't have done that. It was inappropriate. I'm sorry. And then like gives him a gift, and it's a bottle of champagne.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get into the conversation about how you were saying like, oh, you live here, like, gosh, I must be paying you too much. Pacey explains like his living situation, and
he doesn't really have one.
He's homeless.
But then puts it into her head the idea that she could take over the lease once Danny is settled wherever he's going to settle. And she's like, yeah, that sounds good. And then is it this scene or is it another scene where she's like, well, maybe you could just stay here. Like, I'll move in too, and you can just stay here.
Yeah.
And then she does the same thing where she touches him.
Yeah, she like runs
her fingers.
She's like, maybe
so confusing because she just apologized.
Work something out, and
maybe we can work something out. Yes,
again,
that is her
she
line.
Just apologized.
That is her line
for sexually harassing him. Like
yes.
2 seconds ago, she
Yes.
was like, "Sorry," and then now she's stroking him
She's
again.
doing it again. Maybe we can work something out. And Pacey's like, okay, yeah, all right.
Sure, yeah. He's like, no, I'm just gonna go live with Grams. Grams wouldn't do this to me.
Grams definitely would not do that to Pacey. Well, she's got herself a man. Like
she
she
does
said.
got herself a man.
Yeah, well, Grams has never been creepy. I mean, she's been a little over the top with the God shit, but
Yep.
Yeah.
But other than that,
But
she's
not creepy.
No,
she's not like advanced on any of the kids. She's not predatory. She's just
No.
She's
Jesus-y.
definitely Jesus-y.
So, so Pacey is still working to try and get Audrey her job back. And he's now bringing it up at a more appropriate time. And how does that kind of all work itself out? I mean, Audrey gets her job back, but she continues to make advances on Pacey.
Right, and Audrey, without having any knowledge of that, learns that she's got her job back and then is immediately suspicious. She's like, well, what did you do to get my job back?
Which to me felt, I mean, she was right. Audrey was right. But to me, it felt like, where are you getting this from?
Yeah,
Why
like
would you
you're-
assume?
That's a big jump to conclusions on that.
Right, because initially Pacey's like, I'm going to talk to her and I'm going to get your job back. And she's like, cool, thanks. And then she mentions a couple of times, did you talk to her? Do I have my job back? And he's like, I'm still working on it. And then he's like, okay, now you've got your job back. And then immediately she's like, well, what did you do? Oh, this woman likes you. You like her.
I mean, she came, they were in the middle of the workday and
Yeah.
she came into the kitchen and she's like causing a huge commotion, saying that like something happened and she knows that something happened. Why else would she get her job back unless something happened?
Yeah.
Like between the boss and Pacey. I'm having a hard time.
know. Sorry.
Talking right now because Murphy is like,
my fault too because I missed the moment.
I've been petting him this whole time and he's acting like I'm
Well,
denying
you're not
him.
petting him right.
Pet him
What
better.
is the right way?
You got to get in there.
I'm
Get
so-
your heat gun out.
There was
Yeah.
there was a moment where Murphy stood up and he just like buried his head in your chest.
Yeah, that means
This has been
like-
going on for hours.
that
I
means
know.
get back to
Yeah.
business.
I'm back to business, Murphy. What else can I do? But yeah, like it did seem like a big jump
Yeah.
to make.
Yeah,
For Audrey to make.
Yeah,
right.
like 0 to 60, like you're banging Alex. That's why I got my job back. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like you asked me to ask, and I asked, and now you've got your job back.
And then she gets so heated about it. She's like, I quit. I'm going to quit. And Pacey's just like, I can't fucking do anything right with this girl right now.
I
Or
mean,
with anyone. He's like being harassed at work.
Yeah.
Now Audrey's pissed off because she got her job back.
Yeah. So they get through the dinner shift, and I guess because Pacey now is the big boss in the kitchen, he's the last one out. and he's putting his jacket on, and Alex is like at the bar, like doing paperwork, and she's like, I gotta get this into corporate by tomorrow morning. And Pacey, I'm like, Pacey, just leave. Just leave.
Yeah, just go home.
Just go home. Go home. Don't do this. Do not do this. But he's like, I know this place looks nice during the day, but at night it can be pretty scary. Like, my friend just got held up by a 9mm.
He referenced that episode.
He referenced Joey getting held up at gunpoint several episodes ago. And he's like, so I don't know. And she is, they're both doing a bad job of like trying to stay away from each other.
Yeah.
Because she's saying things like, I'm a big girl. I'll be okay. I'm just around the corner. It's fine. And Pacey's insisting. I mean, he's like, those books look really heavy. Like, how are you going to be able to carry all that stuff?
He is he's playing into it, so it's like he is uncomfortable with the situation, but he also likes it.
He definitely likes it, and that's what I was saying earlier. I do not want to victim blame because he was assaulted at work.
Mm-hmm.
But if that happens, if your boss kisses you and you don't want it, maybe don't like offer to like walk them home and then have them come into your home at the end of a work shift.
Yeah.
Like, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
But he walks her home and he carries her books or whatever. I don't know why she has all these books, but and then she's at some hotel and they like joke about her room or whatever, and then he gives her a hug. And like buries
it's a lingering
his
hug.
face in her neck and is like
sniffing her.
He sniffs all the scent beads that she used to wash her coat.
And he's just like really gets in there, and then it's like awkward, and she's like, all right. Well, and he's like, well, if you want to come by sometime to see the apartment,
he's
again.
like, yeah, don't forget, you can come by to check out the apartment.
Dude, what are you doing?
Don't invite her over.
Yeah.
And then don't want this, don't invite invite her.
He
over.
wants it.
But he wants it.
He wants
yes.
it.
Yes. So he is back at the apartment, and this is the shower scene.
Oh, okay.
This is Pacey in the shower.
So you just see his naked silhouette, behind a curtain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
Risque.
Hashtag Team Pacey. All the girls are loving it. I'm telling you.
Yes, he still has a baby face.
He does still have the baby face.
He doesn't have a man face.
No.
Like Dawson's got like a man face.
He's like Leonardo DiCaprio. Like Leonardo DiCaprio didn't lose his baby face until The Departed.
2 years ago?
Until The Departed. Right, exactly. Yeah. It took him forever.
He went straight from baby face to
like full man.
Yeah, like Jack Nicholson cigar smoking.
Yeah.
man.
Right, I was gonna say like baby face to middle-aged face. There was no like
as
hot 35-year-old face.
No, there was not. As much as I loved the movie Titanic, I have always had a hard time believing the romance between Rose and Jack because she looked so much older than him in that movie. He looked like a teenager, like a child in that movie.
Yeah.
And she was a grown adult woman, and I just had the hardest time believing that relationship.
I think the humans, the actors, are the same age.
We're the same age, right?
Yeah, but
exactly.
he looked like a child.
He looked like a child. And then from my own memory, the next time, or like, because of course Leonardo DiCaprio did movies after Titanic, many movies. But I remember when I was seeing trailers for the movie The Departed, and I was like, holy shit, Leonardo DiCaprio is a real man now. He's an actual man. Like, he had a chiseled face now. There was no more baby fat in his face. He had facial hair. I was like, holy shit, he looks like a man.
Yeah, he
finally. It took him so fucking long.
Went through puberty at the age of like 37.
Yes. It was crazy how much of a man he looked. I was like, wow, it's finally happening. That is what Pacey is, or what the actor Joshua Jackson is going through as well. Like, he has a forever baby face.
I mean, you think he still does, kind of.
He kind of does.
Well, I think what helps him now is that he has facial hair and it's graying.
Yeah, but he still has like rounded, soft features. There's nothing.
Yeah, like especially his nose.
But I will say he looks very good today. Like, really good. I can't.
Well, I wasn't excited about the shower scene. Is all I'm saying. I'm not really into.
I mean, I wasn't. I mean, I was like, okay, he's in the shower. I wasn't like horned up about it.
Sure.
I wasn't.
All right, so he's in the shower. He gets out of the shower.
Oh, hold on. Just a little more setup to this is so one scene was Audrey in the library with Joey, and she's complaining about Pacey because she's left the restaurant. She's gotten mad. She's going to Joey for advice. And Joey gives her
fuck off.
terrible.
I'm trying to study.
Joey gives her terrible advice. It's not even advice, but she's just trying to calm Audrey down and be like, well, maybe he's planning a surprise for you. And she's like, oh yeah, maybe it's earrings. Maybe it's a massage. I would really like a massage. And so she plans to go and like try and talk to Pacey, like smooth things out. And so when I was watching this scene where Pacey's in the shower and the doorbell rings, I thought it was going to be Audrey.
Yeah, because she was like making her way
because she was
there.
making her way over there. But no, it's
Triangle
eyebrows. I was trying to think of the word. I couldn't think of what we decided to call her. Triangle eyebrows. And
It's 2 a.m.
It's 2 a.m. And Pacey's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, well, you said I could come by and see the apartment. And I thought since we're both night owls, like this is okay.
It's not okay.
Yeah, and he was like, it's 2 a.m. She's like, yeah, but we just left each other like a minute ago. And he's like, yeah, but I'm gonna go to bed. I have to fucking work in 8 hours.
Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah.
do you? Well, I guess since you're here, do you want some water or orange juice? Because that's
all I have.
And she's like, well, the champagne.
The champagne that I brought you earlier. And he's like, reluctantly, like, okay, I guess we can open the champagne.
And he gets the flutes out, and they're like standing in the kitchen with holding the champagne flutes,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about. I mean, it escalated pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, they talk. Yeah. Well, she brings up the kiss in her office, and is she trying to apologize for it or say like that shouldn't have happened? Like, you need to keep it profesh. Is that what she was saying?
I don't remember, but I think she was also if she was also like, but
Right. Yeah.
but it was like, you
The
know,
heat.
Yeah, you can't
Like you
deny
felt that,
the
right?
heat between us.
Yeah.
And they were standing,
talking about.
they're
yeah.
standing like toe to toe. They're like so close to
And
each other.
Pacey, like he wants to make out.
Right. Well, so speaking of heat, because I think she was like, Pacey might have said something like, well, what heat are you talking about? She's like, well, I felt it when you hugged me. And Pacey's like, okay. And so, yes, so they're standing really close to each other. She's touching him, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember exactly, but I'm sure she's touching him because she's touched him a lot up to this point.
Yeah, she's pretty handsy.
Yeah. and then we see Audrey come in.
Yeah, she peeks in. She overhears. She overhears.
She overhears that they've kissed.
Yeah, like her saying, "Oh, you can't deny the like heat between us when we kissed."
Yes.
And then Audrey's like, she's like, "You should remember to close the door because it'll keep the heat in." And like turns and runs away.
Which
is fair.
Yeah,
Totally fair.
It's totally fair.
And also like a good dig.
Yeah, I mean, because she stood there and like, because she heard them and she was like, I knew it. And like she waits to get the juice and then, yeah, lays it down and runs away.
She has the best one-liners.
Mm-hmm.
Like since she's joined the cast, they've given her the best lines. So she runs away. Pacey follows her and she, she's like,
pissed.
She's pissed. Rightfully so. Like, I knew it. Like, why didn't you tell me? You lied to me, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. And Pacey's like trying to, apologize.
And explain the
explain.
situation.
Yeah,
and I'm
it's
like,
not-
what's
it's not-
there to explain?
It's not how it looks. And
It is how it looks.
It's exactly how it fucking looks. Sorry, Pacey, but it's exactly how it looks. Like she was right. I don't know how she knew, but she knew.
That's some good intuition.
Yeah,
because I never would have pieced it
For
together.
a 19-year-old, too?
Yeah,
I mean,
she picked up on the whole scenario based on absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And
She's
then-
like, you got me my job back. You must be cheating on me.
You must be banging the boss. And then she's like, fuck you. And
Yeah.
like leaves.
You're right.
So he goes back to the apartment and triangle eyebrows is just
Made herself
Yeah,
at
she's
home.
all
she's
there.
like all
She's on
She
the
took her
couch.
coat off. She's
Lounged
drinking
out
the
on-
She's got the
champagne.
champagne.
yeah. She's like poured it, and she's like, and he's like, "You're still here?" And she's like, "Yeah."
And he's like, my relationship is over, right? And she's like, yeah, well, I told you shouldn't be settling down at 19.
Yeah, you shouldn't be so serious at 19. And then he's like,
And then Pacey switches. He's like, "You're driving me crazy right now." And then she's like, "Well, I mean, if everyone thinks you've already done it, then you should do it."
And he's like, okay.
yeah. And then they just like make out hardcore.
Yeah, like heavy makeout.
Heavy.
Like-
He's really into it. Yeah.
like lots of just like, ugh. Yeah.
Like they're about to bone.
they're about to bang.
Yeah. He's like on top of her on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And there's khakis and his Skechers. And
Yeah.
he's wearing Skechers too.
Skechers.
No Skechers ad in this scene, in this sex scene.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah, baby, let's do this." And she's like, "This is really inappropriate. We shouldn't do this."
Yeah, she pushes him away.
And he's like, what's going on? And she's like, I have to leave because this is inappropriate.
Yeah, we shouldn't do this because I'm your boss. And like gets up and walks out. What the
I was pissed off. Like I was confused and upset.
No, she's fucking with him. She's got some weird agenda, or she's got a hatred of men and she just wants to torture them. She's up to some shit.
she is up to some
She is
shit.
up to no good.
This woman is going to be havoc.
No, she's a villain.
I can't wait to see what happens with her in the next episode.
Same.
I mean,
This is going to make for some funny drams.
Pacey needs this job, and that was one of the arguments that he had with Audrey. He was like, she's like, "Why wouldn't you just quit then if this is happening?" He's like, "Well, I'm not a rich."
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a rich college girl. I actually need this job.
That can just
That
like
was a rude thing to say.
no, that was a low blow.
yeah.
that
She
was-
caught him like in the
Cheating.
middle of cheating, and then he just like threw that back in
Yeah,
her
he
face.
was like, "Well, maybe I just have to do what I have to do because I'm fucking poor, and you don't understand what it's like to be poor because you're a rich girl."
And you can just quit your job on a whim.
Yeah, so being poor means that you have to bang your boss.
I don't think it needs to be that way, actually.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But yeah, that was a low blow. And then she's like, "Screw you, asshole." And yeah.
Yeah.
So then once Alex leaves, he tries to call her like the next morning. And
Yeah.
you hear on her answering machine.
Yeah.
And she's like not picking up. She's not having
And
it.
she's like holding a stuffy with little pigtails in her hair, like a sad little
She's
girl.
all sad.
Yeah.
Joey's not there. Where's Joey? Still in the library?
Well, this is kind of effectively where the show ends, because it actually ends with just like a montage of like everyone trying to figure out like where they are, basically. So like we see a scene of Joey, Pacey desperately trying to call Audrey, and she's like listening to the answering machine with her little stuffy and pigtails. And then we see a scene of like is it Joey? She's still in the library studying or whatever.
I thought she pulled an all-nighter in the library.
The last like minute or two of the episode just kind of wraps up what everyone is doing. So, if my memory is right, it's Joey still in the library studying, and Dawson like passed out next to her, and then Jack, I guess. Oh, Jack leaving to take his final.
Yeah, giving a weak ass kiss.
Yeah, giving his weak lipped kiss on the forehead to Grams, and that was it. Because I don't even think we mentioned this. We didn't mention it in the last episode either. No Jen in this episode and the previous. She was sick in the spring break episode.
She had COVID.
She definitely had COVID.
And we
she's not
barely
studying
saw
at
her.
all.
We
It's like
barely saw her in that episode. It was episode 19. Nothing. No Jen in episode 20.
She doesn't have a storyline because
No-
she's not dating.
No Jen
Yeah.
in episode 21.
And she doesn't have a drinking problem. So
yeah, no
like,
like major issues.
yeah, so she's just like background at this point. So maybe they just didn't want to pay her for these 2 episodes. They're like, we're gonna put the extra money into kissing sound effects.
Yeah. It's very important that we get that right.
And we have to pay these like other women who are going to be banging teenagers. So we can't pay Jen for this episode. They're on a budget, you know.
You do what you can.
Yeah.
With the money that
we
you
need
have.
to pay 30-year-olds to bang teenagers. So we can't
I
pay
mean, they were
Jen.
really focused on that.
Yeah, that was the whole point.
Yeah.
That and Jack, whatever Jack's problem is. Jack needs to study cheat for calculus.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's how it ends. It's kind of a weak ending for an episode that had.
Well, I am curious to see what happens.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, they're all a mess right now. Everyone get your shit together. Except Joey. She's fine. And Jen.
I mean, Joey's just Joey.
Joey's just Joey. And Jen's on vacation.
We don't know where Jen is.
She might be dead.
Yeah,
We
what if the next episode comes up and she's like in a ditch this whole time?
Yeah.
None of her friends have been paying attention to where she is because they're too busy with their own bullshit.
I did try and look. I mean, I did look it up on her IMDb page, and it didn't look like. I mean, she had projects that came out in 2003, so maybe. I mean, you know, as of right now, she's only not been in 2 episodes, which I don't think is a lot of time for her to do another project.
I think she just didn't fit into the storyline.
Yeah.
Or maybe she just needed a minute. I don't know.
I mean,
She's
maybe
like,
she needed a
go on
minute.
vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe she needed a minute.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
It doesn't
don't know.
matter. She'll be back next episode probably.
I mean, hopefully. I mean, that's Cindy's ride or die.
I know that's my bitch.
So I hope. I mean, I love Jen. I've always loved Jen. So I hope she's back.
Well, I just can't wait to see what happens with the triangle eyebrows. I mean, I want them to like actually bang. I just want things to get crazier,
Okay.
as if it's not crazy enough.
Well, yeah, I'd be curious to see what her angle is.
Yeah.
What-
Yeah,
This
like-
Like
woman-
she's obviously
What's her motive?
Yeah, she's obviously trying to fuck with Pacey, but why? What's the point?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be something lame. Like my ex fucked me up, so now I'm on a mission to like make all men in my life miserable.
Yeah, and I bet she like leaves town. In
Yeah,
the next episode, she's
I
like, I
don't-
sold the business again, and now
it's gonna be like
I
a
have
Professor
never-
Wilder situation where she just is like, bye, and like pieces out.
Yeah.
And
and then we're here. We're
And then
left to pick up the pieces.
I am never the one to bring up the stripper who gave Dawson a blowjob. That's always you guys. Like that's always you.
Well, I haven't gotten over it.
I'm never the one to bring up Jack and Andy's parents. You know, the mom who's still upstairs going.
I just don't know how
who's lost
how
her
you've
mind.
moved on so quickly from all these things. I can't.
all these
let it
loose
go.
ends.
But I'll put a prediction out there that she is going to be gone the same way that the stripper left and the same way that Mom and Dad McPhee left, and we're not going to get any answers as to why.
we're just never gonna hear about it again.
Yeah, she's had 2 hot and heavy episodes with Pacey, and then she's just disappeared.
Yeah, she just like won't never be brought up again. It won't be an issue.
And then
Yeah.
for my benefit and for my enjoyment, I'm just going to hear you guys bring her up
Talk about it for years.
for the next.
I
for
mean,
the
I
next
still want to
couple
know
years.
the stripper that gave Dawson a blowjob.
Is Jen's half sister?
It's Jen's half sister, and they made a big deal about that, and then they never brought it up
Right,
again.
like why even make a big deal about that aspect?
I wish I wouldn't have brought this
to then
up.
never talk about it again. It
I
just
blame
doesn't make
myself.
sense. Why?
And
why,
she's never brought it up. She's never been like, "Hey, remember that half sister I have that gave Dawson a blowy, and then he ran his boat into the gas
it
station
was
for
such
boat
a
stock."
big, dramatic thing.
Who did this to me? I did this to me.
And then they just never. Meanwhile,
It's my fault.
Andy is like in France. We don't even hear about her. Jack's never like, "Hey, my sister says hi. She's doing great."
He's just
no,
like
yeah,
an-
no mention of
no,
any
she's
of
like
these people.
dead.
He's an orphan.
And then yeah, like his parents who are still supposed to be alive. He doesn't talk to them, doesn't have anything to do with them. Mom's crazy in a bedroom, and Dad we don't hear from.
Grams,
even though we know that the actor that played Dad died, but they never addressed that.
They didn't put this into the show, but Graham's legally adopted Jack.
I mean, that's what it seems like. He's just like abandoned his parents
Mm-hmm.
and his sister. They're just like gone.
Yeah.
It bothers me.
I mean, it bothers me too. Melissa, I don't understand how you can just like live your life and go to work and do laundry every day, not knowing the answers to this stuff.
You do laundry every day?
Well, you know what I mean. How are you just like?
How am I living? How am I
your
going
life?
on with my life and not
I
wanting
lose-
answers to these things?
Do you know how much sleep I've lost in the last couple years? A lot of sleep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's episode 21.
Yeah, we're done now.
We're done. We'll be back next week for episode 22. We're Basic Teen TV. My name's Melissa.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Cindy.
Bye, basic bitches.
Bye.
Oh, Murphy licked my tooth.